Does a 0 DTE or 1 DTE Iron Condor perform better? We're going to find out in this video. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Jordan. I've been a trader for 8 years. I'm the founder of OptionBots, which is the platform we're going to be backtesting on. And I've been trading Iron Condors for who knows how long, and I love them, but I don't know if a 0 DTE or 1 DTE does better. So we're going to find out. This is just a random backtest I had. So we're going to go ahead and dive in. So this is the platform we're going to be backtesting on. We're going to be creating a trading bot out of this that auto gets into 0 DTEs and 1 DTEs every single day. And we're going to look. And we're going to look at all the numbers and put them side by side and see which one is better. So let's get into it. So let me move my screen a little bit over here so you can see. So we're going to go over here and do a new backtest. All right. And we're going to do this. We're going to start with the 1 DTE. All right. So we're going to go SPY 1 DTE Iron Condor. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and obviously select SPY and we're going to click Iron Condor. So now we have to figure out kind of the actual entries, the entry rules of what decides when we actually decide to get into a trade. So let me actually just move my screen back there. So we got to figure this out, right? Now, first thing is the backtest range. We're going to go 3 years of data. So we're going to look at like the most time we can really look at and see how well does this actually work over the last 3 years. Now, first thing we're going to start out with is the VIX range. I'm going to leave this blank. So no matter what the VIX is doing, this is going to get into a trade every single day. So I want to see in all conditions how well this is performing. We're going to do a very simple setup here. All right, so we're going to go with something with a 0.45 delta. So very close to at the money is where we're going to get our short strike for the Iron Condors. And then for a spread width, we're going to go with 2 points. All right, and what that means is that we are essentially going to be getting in 2 strikes above and 2 strikes below our short strikes. All right, so with the 2 point spread width, it's going to be pretty small of an Iron Condor, pretty like lower win rate, higher risk reward. But overall, not going to be too bad. We're going to stick with 1 DT to start, and we're just going to keep the entry time at 10 a.m. Again, I'm doing very, very simple. I'm trying to keep this like very bare bones to see like a basic Iron Condor strategy, which one performs better. We're going to get in every day, and we're just going to skip FOMC. We're going to hit continue. Now with the take profit, we're going to do a 30% take profit here, and we're going to do a stop loss of, we're going to do a 100% stop loss. The reason we're going to do that is because we really want to see like, just in a smaller take profit sense, how well does this perform, right? We want to be taking profit a little bit quickly, and if this thing goes, it's going to go to our stop loss, so we're going to let it do its thing, and then we're going to have a 5-minute exit before close. Now this means if the take profit or the stop loss hasn't hit, and this is about to expire, it's going to exit within 5 minutes, just to ensure that we don't hold anything into expiration. I don't have to worry about that, so we're going to go ahead and leave that. And then we're just going to do 1 contract to keep it simple, continue, and then queue the back test. Now, while this is running, we're going to go ahead and see exactly how this is going to perform. Now, I believe if I look at some of the previous back tests I've done, I mean, we have a bunch of different tests on here. We have previous, Iron Condors that have done really well. You can see this one had a 60% take profit. This was also a 1 DTE, and this one performed extremely well. You can see all the numbers on here look very, very strong. And if you look at the trades as well, you can kind of just see like how well they have been performing. Like not many losses in a row, like 4 or 5 in a row is kind of like the max. I mean, this one had maybe like 6 right here, but really the max that we'll get on this specific strategy. I mean, again, this one, if we see this one is a similar kind of idea. This one had a 45% win rate. So again, lower win rate, higher type of risk reward. Our average win is much bigger than our average loss. So something to keep in mind. But we're going to wait for this one to load. And once it's done, we're going to compare it with a 0 DT with all the same settings. And I'm pretty excited to see, pause video or while this is loading, like let me know what you think is going to happen. Honestly, I just have a feeling that the 1 DT is going to be better just because 0 DT can have a lot less premium on it. And because we're going with a take profit, that's something to think in mind. I've done a bunch of different tests in here. You can see we have like a 45 DTE, and this one's performed really well as well. Very, very strong performance there. So it's actually fun to kind of test out different, days to expiration. Obviously, like 45 days out is a completely different ball game than a 1 DT or a 0 DT. I mean, we've done a bunch with some QQQ ones as well, some Iron Butterflies. These ones have performed pretty well, okay? Now, there's also some, if I look back through this, that have not performed well, right? Some of these, like down here, like these Iron Condors, were obviously not good. These were also very similar 1 DTEs, just with slightly different kind of metrics that really gave us a different back test. But some of these did not perform well as well. So it's important to note, like I'm trying my hardest to go like a bare bones, basic Iron Condor. Obviously, depending on what type of, metrics you fill out on the right-hand side here are going to determine how well it does. But keeping the same on a 0 DTE versus a 1 DTE basis will give us a better idea of how likely it's going to go. Now, what I'm going to do is wait until this is done, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the actual backtest, and I'll compare them side by side. All right, so the backtest is finally done. We're going to go ahead and click it and check it out, and there we go. You can see this backtest made $7,000 with a 1 DTE iron condor. Now, something that strikes out to me is this huge dump right here. This obviously does not seem accurate within the backtest, depending on when it got in. If we look at it, we can actually look at the actual trade. This was April 8th to April 10th, 2025. So we're going to go right here and actually scroll down and see what happened there. If we go to April 8th, 2025, which would be right here. So this was lost about $2,460 in a day, which obviously is not accurate considering it only got in a credit of about 178. So we're just going to kind of disregard that because this would actually be a little bit less of the stop loss, especially if we hit it at 100%. So let me go and actually take a look at the market here on April 8th, 2025, and just see if anything happened. And yeah, if we look, I mean, this was right in the middle of a huge crash. You can see here, we just had crazy up and down days. We're moving 10, 20 points overnight. So that's basically what caused that huge loss. Nonetheless, though, if I go back and take a look at the actual dashboard here, overall looks pretty solid, right? You can see 7,000 total P&L. Now, before I go and analyze the rest of this, I just want to get that other backtest loading. So what I'm going to do is if you look at my screen here, I'm going to move myself over. I can go right here and hit edit. And if I edit this backtest, we're going to change it. We're going to call it a 0 DT. Everything's going to be pre-filled in here. We're going to continue. And then we're just going to go ahead and change this to be 0, right? So all we do is change it from a 0 or 1 DT to a 0. We're going to go ahead and continue, leave everything the way it is, continue, and then queue this backtest. And while this one's loading, we're going to go back and look at this one that we have right here. So let me go ahead, move myself back there, and then we can compare the two. So again, this one had a 64% win rate, not too bad, right? The average winner is less than the average loser by about $10. The best win it has is 158. Worst loss, obviously, kind of like a glitch in the backtest there, so not something to really disregard. But $2,000. And then $7,000 total P&L. Again, maybe a little bit higher if we don't count this one. EV is at $9, which isn't that bad. So it means every time you take a trade, you're expected to make $9 on the setup. So overall, not too bad. If we just look at the chart as well, I mean, this is a very clean looking chart. I mean, kind of just pretty much goes straight up. We have a few dips here. Like again, if you look at this from December 17th to about like February 11th, that's about a 2-month stretch where we're in a drawdown. But that seems to be really the longest part, maybe here from July to September, a 2.5 kind of drawdown there. But overall, over a 3-year period, this looks really, really solid. Now, obviously, if we look at this part again, when we had crazy action, we could easily avoid this, right? If I go back, and maybe I'll actually make a backtest for this. This was in April of 2025. I mean, the VIX went crazy, right? So if we added in a VIX filter to stop this after, every time the VIX gets kind of crazy, we'll call it 2024. Anytime the VIX hits 24, if we were to get rid of that, it would help it out. In fact, I'm actually going to edit this and try that again. So we're going to go ahead and rename this VIX Max 24. And we're going to keep this 1 DT and just see kind of what that looks like. So if I go ahead and the VIX, put the max here at 24. 24. There we go. And then we're going to see what the results look like on that. So we're going to queue that up. And I believe we should have this one almost done, the 0 DT. That's going to be the big test. So we're at 80%, almost done in just the next 30 seconds here. Should be ready. But it's going to be really exciting to see how well this performs compared to this one. And honestly, I have no idea. I think it could be a mix. And we'll see if the VIX has a huge impact, right? We'll try the other one as well without the VIX. So we'll kind of add in one VIX filter to really see if the VIX made a huge difference and if it's something that is going to be a big difference in the future. So actually, we'll just go ahead and get that running now. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this. So we're just going to be the 0 DTE. And this is all going to be with the max VIX of 24. All right, and we're going to see and compare like all of them. So we can get a really good idea. So we're going to put this at 24 for the max. We're going to go 0 DTE. We're going to leave everything else the same. Continue, and then queue. And we'll go ahead and see how that's going while these are running. All right, so this one is about to be done, 95%. I'm pretty excited. I don't know if it's going to outperform. We're going to see. Just to take a look at these ones again, remember, we had about a $7,000 P&L, a 64% win rate, and the average win was about $10 less than the average loss. And if we go ahead and take a look at this one, 95% as this is about to finish off, I think it's going to be a little bit higher. We're going to see in the next few seconds here, and there we go. Wow, what a huge difference that makes going from a 0 DTE to 1 DTE. I mean, this one was a massive difference. You can see this one only had $564 for the P&L. The average win is still, actually, it's about $20 less than the average loss, which if we remember was about $10 on the 1 DTE. Win rate also dumped a little bit. Now, obviously, we don't have that big VIX issue that we had in the last one. Now, we're going to see once these two finish up if that really made a huge difference. But wow, the difference in these two is absolutely wild, and I would not have expected this. So that really is a huge difference when you look at trading 1 DTE versus a 0 DTE. And again, this was all because we went with a 0.45 delta and a 2-point spread width. If you were to come on and try and build this, and maybe you do a 1-point spread width, maybe do a 0.2 delta, these results could be completely different, which is why I think it's really important that you test as many backtests as you can until you find something that you're happy with. So obviously, if I were to pick between these two, I'm going to pick the 1 DTE versus the 0 DTE because, I mean, it just performed that much better. And again, all the settings were the same. Now, I don't have time to sit here all day and change all of these filters one by one, right? Change the delta and we'll do another test. Change the width, we'll do another test. Now, if I took an hour once a week, I could probably test 50 of these and get like all of it done and figure out the optimal bot. But that's not the point for this video. So what I'm going to do is pause the video, let this come back once these are done, and we're going to compare it and see if the VIX made a big difference. All right, so both of those finished up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 1 DT with the VIX filter. You can see obviously that huge dump is no longer there in that area because the VIX was super crazy. And this looks like a very smooth looking chart. Now the P&Ls are around the same. The average loss is actually a lot lower because of that. Win rate is a little bit higher, I believe. If we remember back to this one, we had a 64% win rate. So it's around the same. Yeah, $7,000 versus $7,185 is about the same. Now, if we look at the 0 DTE with the VIX filter, it actually went down a little bit more, right? $325 total P&L versus the original $564 right here. So overall, the chart does look very similar. And again, it makes sense. All we added was a filter on the VIX. And the VIX really only gets above 24 a few times throughout the year. So really didn't make that big of a difference, but it did kind of take out that filter and really kind of see if we can get a good sense of which one works. But I think the results are in. I believe the 1 DTE definitely outperforms the 0 DTE. And again, it does depend on which type of filters you decide to put in for this bot. But here's what I would recommend, or not even recommend, but here's something that I think would be fun for you to do is if you sign up for an OptionBots account, you can basically go through this backtest and try all the same settings. And if you even want to, you could go ahead and turn this exact backtest into a bot by going right here and hitting clone to bot. You can go right here. All you have to do is give it a name. We'll call it IC bot. Connect your brokerage account. I'm going to go with a paper trading because that's what I want to do. And then just hit continue. All the settings are pre-filled. Continue, continue, continue. And then launch that bot. And then just like that, we took that backtest, turned it into a bot that's going to auto trade on this paper trading account for me and every single day until I tell it to stop. And if I want to, I can also turn this live in my actual brokerage account, which is what I've done and what a lot of the users on this platform have done as well. But it is cool to come on here and just test a bunch of different backtests and see which one works, which one doesn't. Do these small changes, small tweaks, so you can really get whichever one works the best and then kind of go from there. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I'll leave a link in the description for you to go ahead and check out this platform if you want to sign up and give it a shot and create your own bots, backtest them, run them live in your brokerage account or paper trade them first. More than welcome to do that. But make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one as well. I'm going to go ahead and turn this one into a paper bot as well. And we're going to see which one performs better. So if you're interested, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to clone this right here. We'll call this the SPY Test 0 DTEIC YouTube video. And we're going to come back and see which one performs better in 30 days. I'll make another video about it. So let me go ahead and do this. And then, yeah, if you're interested, make sure to subscribe to check out that video when I go and make it. But I'll see you in the next one.